Annissa Coy here with Firehouse Education and this week's Ask Annissa video column. And this week, before I get started, I again just want to remind you, have you gone on over to rnrmegonline.com and clicked on the experience in the upper right-hand corner so that you could get registered for the Experience Trade Show and Expo, the largest one in the restoration industry. It's fabulous and awesome. You've got to come check it out. I will be there. We will be doing live demonstrations as well. And there's tons of other wonderful educators that will be there. It's just simply one of the best shows in our industry. And it's this May 8th, 9th, and 10th and in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. So you get to go hang out on the beach and write it off, as a business expense. So anyway, go check it out and get registered and come hang out with us. All right. So this week, let's jump right in. Our question is really good, really good. It's about billing. So our question came in from Ryan from Blue Kangaroo Packouts of Long Island. So he says, Annissa, I am in the process of becoming a content restoration franchise. I have found your Firehouse Education and Ask Annissa videos helpful as I'm learning about the industry. Well, I'm very glad, Ryan, that you found them helpful. When looking through Xactimate, I see that I can charge for a box truck as well as a cargo van. Is it customary to have a box truck on site as well as a cargo van to bring the other employees / equipment? Since the box truck only holds 2 people, we will need a second vehicle to drive there anyway. If it is a cargo van driving, are we able to charge the insured for both a box truck and a cargo van? It is my understanding that a full-size passenger crew van or even the smaller city cargo vans will qualify. Do you think I would have any issue with a company decaled minivan on site charging as a cargo van? Thank you for all the advice that you have provided. Ryan Mulligan, Blue Kangaroo Packouts of Long Island. Well, Ryan, that's a really great question. So I get asked a lot of questions about billing. So first thing I want to say is this. I am happy that you're using Xactimate. I do believe you should use Xactimate platform because that's the universal language and that's, breaks it down by the room and this sort of thing. And I just believe that it helps our relationships with our insurance companies and adjusters better. Okay. And yes, I also do believe that we should have a good relationship with our adjusters and insurance companies when possible. That being said, Xactimate is not the end all be all. Okay. It's a platform. So just because something is in Xactimate to be charged for, I don't necessarily would say charge for that or that you should charge for that. Okay. I'm not saying don't charge for a cargo van or a box van. Here's what I am saying. You need to be very clear on what your job costing is and what your cost of doing business is so that you know how to charge accordingly and be able to onboard your customer correctly so that there's no surprises. In your email, you asked me, can I bill a client for X and Y? Well, that depends. So are you onboarding your client, making sure they're well aware of what charges that there are? Are you onboarding them and letting them know that you will be billing their insurance company as a courtesy, however, making sure that they're real clear that they are the ones responsible for paying the bill? Now, what you may want to do, instead of breaking out like cargo van and van to drive the crew, what I like to do is to not charge for the cargo van or box van, but to be sure that my hourly rate is my true cost of labor or doing business, getting my crew there. In other words, not just what my labor burden is, but if I have to have a rig, a 6-passenger minivan that I got to pay for insurance and upkeep and all of this stuff to get my 5 or 6 person pack out crew to the job, I want that included in my hourly rate. I'm not going to break out that van charge. I'm going to make sure that that's built into my hourly rate. And is Xactimate hourly rates adequate? Absolutely not, in my opinion. I think most of their rates are anywhere from $40 to $55 an hour. There is no way that is adequate whatsoever for general cleaning. I mean, for a remediation tech cleaning, let alone a supervisor. So you need to have your labor burden figured out. In my opinion, it would be better to figure things like those vehicle charges into your hourly rate so that you're not being thought of as being nitpicky, and it just makes things easier, in my opinion. Does that make sense, Ryan? I hope so. So now, again, that doesn't mean maybe you want to have a charge that you have separated out for the cargo van. Now, can you charge for the cargo van to haul your crew and a box van? That depends. Be sure you're also well aware of what that charge includes, right? It includes up to 50 miles. and then it's, you know, like a hand truck in the moving van is all included. Moving blankets, things like that are included in that charge. So I'm not sure how I would feel about that. Like, I charge separately for my moving blankets. I don't charge separately for the hand truck. I do charge for the moving van. I include the hand truck in it. So some of this is you have to get figured out. That's why I'm saying it depends on how you want to do your billing. One of the ways that things that I do with my billing as well is not only do I want to make sure I'm charging the right amount so that my profit margins are correct and there, is you need to know what your profit margins are, right? Or what they should be rather, right? So the other thing is I want my billing to be simple. There is no way that I would ever go through Xactimate and bill by the item like some people do. That to me is just a nightmare. I'm just not going to do it. Now, you might be watching this video and say, hey, Annissa, I've been doing it by the item for years and I think it's great. That's where I want to go. That's fine if that works for you. But Ryan, I personally would not charge for a cargo van to bring my crew. I would have that built into my labor burden and my hourly rate. Now, I would charge for the moving van. Okay. And I charge for moving blankets separately because it's time and materials is what I do. So everything I use, including trash bags, a Ziploc bag, I charge for that. Chem sponges, booties, gloves, all of that are getting charged for. Now, the other thing that I will tell you that I think is important to mention here is if you're not going to charge for that cargo van to bring your crew, then you should be looking at potentially charging miles, depending on mileage, depending on how far away that is from the job is from your location. And especially right now, I don't know if when you're watching this, but this has been filmed sometime in April of 2022. So we have high fuel costs right now. So some kind of either fuel surcharge or mileage is absolutely warranted and legitimate. Okay. So that's a really great question, Ryan, by the way. I get a lot of questions on billing. And I think that what it really boils down to a lot of the time is really understanding what your cost of doing business is so that we know when we're writing our bill, like, what can we charge for? Well, there's some standard things in the industry, but also the question is, what do I want to charge for? What do I need to charge for to be profitable in my company? Okay. So those, I think, are important questions to ask yourself for sure, and kind of go over that with maybe your accounting team and make sure that you've got those numbers dialed in, because that's going to be super important to know if your billing is accurate or not. Okay. Awesome. Well, hey, thanks so much, Ryan, for your question. Just love it. That was a great one. And congratulations and welcome to the industry. If you have any other questions, don't hesitate to shoot me an email and I would love to help you out. Well, on that note, y'all, I hope you are having a fantastic day, great week, great weekend. If you're watching this on Friday's e-newsletter, and if you are, awesome, you are a super cool kid. If you're not, get on over to rnrmegonline.com and subscribe to their e-newsletter so that you get this and lots of other goodies in your email inbox every Friday. Alrighty then, on that note, be sure and send me your questions, Annissa@firehouseeducation.com, and I just might feature you on next week's Ask Annissa video column.